think I finally got everything working. Hey, Lisa. I'm just sitting here doing some tech support stuff because it hasn't been the best morning for technology for me. Mm-hmm. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, yeah, it's been an interesting morning. It was one of those can't sleep. It's like 2:30 in the morning, but hey, you have to get up early sort of days. And there is a little bit of a lag on here. So, you know what? I'm technology and I aren't friends. So, I'm just gonna set the phone aside. It's like trying to do troubleshooting live. It's about as interesting as, watching paint dry or something of that nature. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Megan. Long time no see. And I definitely have my coffee. This is cup number 2, which is technically cup number 4 if you go by human sized portions. Oh, I'm trying to figure. You almost have to have like 6 arms to do this by yourself, or somebody else needs to wake up earlier. Um, I'm really glad that I'm finally getting over the nerves of getting Facebook Live going and everything. Um, I've been wanting to create a forum for everybody to, chit chat and have a safe place to talk and about anything, really. Um, and as we said in the other live video from last week, when James actually joined me for the first time ever on video, um, I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Um, I never know what spirit's going to bring in. I so it's always these events will always be pretty much on the fly. And I really need to finish this basement. You can see the pile of books and stuff. Um, that's just crazy. But you know what? Okay. Just wanted to I wanted to think about I was thinking about something this weekend, and I want to get other people's opinions on it. As Hey, Danny. Hi. See, I forgot today was like a day off for most people. So unless we are in the retail grind, and then there's no such thing. Um, but yeah, over the weekend I was watching people. I was at the mall, which I never go to the mall, um, and just out and about in places that I don't usually go. Uh, for me, if I leave the house, I'm going to somebody else's house or I'm getting lost in the woods. And that's kind of how it goes. But one of the biggest things that I found myself thinking about this past weekend is, why do people settle? Aren't you a like shift manager now, Megan? That's how it works. Um, but yeah, I really, for some reason, it hit me so hard this weekend as to why people settle. Why do I settle for things? Why do other people settle for things? And you can see it on them. You can see them as they're going about their daily lives, just totally settling for their station in life. I've never really been a big believer in the unaccomplishable, and that's kind of where I'm coming from on this. Uh, yeah, yeah, and I just want to reiterate too. There's a little bit of a lag and user error. Um, well, technology. So if you make a comment and I don't see it, I will get back. Um, but I caught myself doing one thing, and as I'm ruminating, there's my SAT word for the morning. I can't believe I can put that many syllables together with as little coffee as I've had. Um, but while I was ruminating on why other people settle, it dawned on me that I've started to settle for things, and that's not like me. So it started this whole whirlwind now. Now it's like everything has to change. Uh, I'm working. I definitely started the getting up earlier thing this morning. Um, oh, that's hard. It's hard when you're used to not getting up till like 11. Alarm went off at 8, and I almost broke it, I think. It's good that it's just an old phone. Jackie, Elizabeth, yes. See, this is fantastic because it's like a bunch of people I know. So when I say things about me, you everybody's gonna be like, mm-hmm, that's so totally him. Uh-huh. But no, and I watched people while I was walking at the mall. It was, I mean, the mall itself is always an adventure for me because, like, I just I don't go there. It's I have a hard time trying to figure. Alarms are evil, but you have a screaming one, so you're better off. But like, I've worked retail most of my life, and it's almost like being in that retail mecca. Number one just turns me off, and but number two, I watch people as they walk by, and there's like happy music playing, and they're trying to make you feel like you're at the club, and you're like walking down. No, that's not it. Everybody's just, you want to go to the Gap? I mean, well, it's the Gap, but um, it's really it's really an odd feeling for me when I realize that I'm doing what I've always uh, love you too, Megan. Um, I don't. I've never been that person to settle, and so I'm curious, like, what outside, what sad mall is this? You know them all. Um, from a spiritual perspective of it, I started looking at it, and there's been a lot of things over the years that I think I never really realized how much that they affected me, and they've really managed to help me stay in this box that I've never allowed myself to be put in. Um, Happy music. I'm still laughing about that. So, what do you guys think? Why do you think people just settle? Settle for, I'm sure, I know we'll get some psychology here, which is fantastic, honestly. To have multiple aspects of a situation to examine and review. I mean, we're therapy rocks. But for someone like me, okay, continued patterns, okay. But for someone like me who really has never fit a pattern for my entire life, I'm curious on this. It really it struck a chord, and I started to think more. It made me introspective. I'm sitting there in the food court at the mall, which, yeah, there's a food court here. Um, Cold comfort, that's good. Self-esteem, okay, I can get behind that. But I sat there at the food court and I just watched, and I watched couples that, you know, you can tell that they've been together for a while, but they don't talk. They're just there was no, I didn't see much life going on in outside life. And I'm like, everybody in this room has settled for their station in life. And then I thought, do I do that? Am I stuck? And I really got to thinking about that and started, I mean, it's really been kind of, what's the, humbling, maybe is the word I'm looking for. Um, yeah, there's a lot of justification in my settling. Um, when I sit back and I think, I was never at home. I Every moment that I wasn't working, I was living. And yes, it's a very distinct uh, line of demarcation. There is life work. I love the phrase life work balance. I've I mean, how old am I now? 40, 41. So you figure in my 25 years of working, that phrase work-life balance I have not found. Um, but yeah, just the settling. Settling is unsettling. It really is. And I've started to look, and it's not, it almost is something like, yeah, okay, Danielle, running from something. For me, I don't think it's so much running from something, but it's such a weird world now. Like, when I was a kid in the 80s watching my He-Man and Transformers cartoons, and um, just trying to, a day was a day, you know, um, and then up through as you grow and you mature, 'cause, I mean, everybody knows that there's a level of art that tends to tread that line sometimes. Um, but even 20 years ago, you know, it was a different world. And I go out the door now and I don't recognize things. And that fear has definitely, yeah, times change, but not always for the better. So here we are in what is this, 2018, going on 2019 soon. And we've effectively, collectively, in my estimation, my opinion, settled our way into one hell of a hole in this life that we are collectively trying to live. Um, and yeah, change is the only consistent. That's actually a phrase. I have it on my work profile. I even where it says, the only thing constant is change, and change isn't always for the better. I don't think we are in such an interesting time where it's almost the precipice of being able to achieve great things or settle back into a very doldrum sort of almost archaic world. It's kind of like, I mean, some of the things that you see going on, the way people treat each other and stuff, it's almost like we've regressed as society, but progressed with technology. It's a very interesting dichotomy. Wow, I am so proud of myself with having such little amount of coffee today that I can use words like that. Um, yeah, okay, we are entering a new age. True, age of Aquarius. My age, yay! Not 41. I mean, I'm not epically old. um, yeah, there are a lot of energies that are messing with people left, right, and center. Um, it's not been lost on me, the discussions that I've had uh, with people. How can I prevent Mercury retrograde from affecting me, or you know this is going on or that's going on, and are there stones for this, are there herbs for this, are there, I need a reading. Well, okay, yeah, there's stones, there's herbs that'll help. There's nothing that it'll mitigate, but it won't cut out the problems. But you know we've gone through a lot of changes many times over, and when you think about astrological ages, they don't come on like it's not it's kind of, there's that lead in period which can be hundreds of years. It's kind of like, but we've only really seen this breakdown in, that I can tell, within the last 10 to 20, maybe. Uh, you know, okay. I'm gonna. It's story time. There's a lot of people that know me know that I used to coach youth soccer. I was a huge soccer player. I would ref, and I would coach. And I would coach a lot of teams every season. It was all volunteer work, and I loved it. I loved the teaching and just instilling that urge to win and to be more collectively than individually. And I did it for almost 6-7 years. And there's a point to this, because this is where I think all of this settling and craziness started. But I coached in 3 or 4 different leagues. Some very competitive, some were more participative for learning and camaraderie and things like that, like at the YMCA. But I'll never forget when I was 19, the concept came out of the participation trophies. Morning, Savage. But yeah, the concept of the participation trophy came out. And this is in the competitive leagues, where no matter what you do in life, or as a part of a team, or we can expound on that, as a part of a collective, as a part of a group, you get rewarded. You don't have to work hard. You just have to pretty much have a pulse and be there. And I had a problem with this. Go figure. Anyone that knows me, go figure. When I was 19, I had a little problem with this. And I asked, what the rationale was behind it. And no deference in deference to any medically and scientifically employed individuals. But the answer is, psychologists have determined that we need to boost self-esteem. So everybody is now a winner. Because if everybody feels like a winner, everybody will be a winner. And everyone will go get that trophy. And everyone will go, they'll constantly be chasing that carrot. And I almost feel like I'm the originator of that commercial, the insurance commercial, where I looked at the board of directors that day and I said, that's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. And here we are now. We'll fast forward now to 22 years, because I was 19 when that happened. I started coaching soccer when I was 13. So if just to put some time information on that, and that's what I'm getting at, Elizabeth. It's not that everybody isn't a winner, but everyone rewarding lack of effort, to me, doesn't compute. And that goes through many things. And in my ruminations over my settling on things this weekend, I really kind of thought about this too. But I found myself slipping into that mindset where everything will be okay, because I don't have to worry about that. It's not me, and it's not sustainable. as a spiritual person, as a spiritual minister, I take that very seriously, and this concept does come up quite often. And I, I'm having one of those humbling moments of practicing what I preach. Preach. I don't really preach, per se. Where I sit and I look and I'm like, the world needs to get off its collective duff and go out and make a difference. I need to too. And I'm very fortunate to know and call friend a lot of people that have almost, if not matching, the same level of ambition. I've settled too long, and I'm not going to anymore. It's time to get back to making a difference, and time to get back to making a change. It's time to stop settling. Tell Vlad I said hi. I haven't seen him in so long. But it's, and I do this at work, and I do this in my personal life, where I understand my personality, and I know I know I can be a little strong and kind of I'll up there, and it's like, let's do this, come on, because I know people need that, and it's not a bad thing to lean on that as a starter, as a Kickstarter. But I think that only when we start to actively push again, not as individuals, because we're in a world that's more connected now than it ever has been. And as much as I hate having, this thing, I don't know, it does things, and the stuffs that it does, I don't understand. I hate having a phone that's smarter than me. It's a fact of life now. And from that aspect, we really, for as connected as we are, I don't know, would that be physically? I know I saw Roger here, and I don't know. I really want his opinion on, does this mean we're digitally connected or physically connected? But for as connected as we are anymore, we have never been so disconnected. We've gone from neighborhoods being hoods. We've gone from, community events to just nothing. And it continues to go this way because of settling and accepting. I've never accepted the norm before, and I feel it's definitely time to start pushing. What do you like? Am I the only one that sees this, or am I way off base? What are your thoughts? I'm curious. Change is hard. Change is very hard. Oh my gosh, change is hard. I went to bed last night. Last thing I remember looking at the clock was 2:30, and here's Art thinking, you know what? I've been settling too long. Time to truly start getting things back on track. Start with health and this, that, and the other thing. I'm gonna start getting up early and going for a walk in the morning. After coffee. Caveat. Um, but wow, even just I set the alarm for 8 o'clock, and just that little change, my body was like, no, go back to bed. Um, and then the other changes I tried to make this morning didn't work for me, like using a computer and webcam that wasn't in my freezing basement. Um, I'm blaming that on technology and not user error. uh, but my gosh, it's daunting a little bit. For me, in a humorous way, it's daunting to try to, yes, it, just to make those little changes that lead to the bigger changes. Um, it's I can see where it's become so easy to settle for things. Um, like I found myself in the situation thinking, uh, I don't feel like doing this. I'll get it tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I have nothing going on tomorrow. I'll just do this tomorrow. And tomorrow came, and event X didn't happen. So that's not a problem. I'll get it the next day. I'm off for 2 days. I have 2 days off. I'll be fine. I'll get it done. Then the work week started again. Oh, I can't get that done because it's the work week. So 5 more days go. Oh, I work second shift. I can't get this. I can't fit this in. And that's how things settle. It's it's like this FUBARD equation that has become the new societal norm. And I mean, even things, this is simple things like weeding a garden, um, or hell, in our case, planting a garden. I got a whole bunch of herb plants this year. I was all excited to start the herb garden, and I was gonna get this thing planted and blah blah blah, but it's too hot out, and we almost lost all the plants because they're in these little. Actually, I think my coffee cup is bigger than the size of the pots that these plants were in, and they were so root bound by the time I actually got to them. I felt so bad for them. It was like they were crying as I was taking them, in gratitude, as I was taking them out of their little pots. But you know, we just, I think we have to push. If in honestly, there are a lot of people that I take a lot of cues from in my life, and I'm very thankful to have these folks in my life. As I mean, when you get to the point where people start to look to you as an example, you kind of almost stop looking for other examples. Um, so I'm very lucky to have individuals in my life that are still setting the example for me, my parents included. Um, Sometimes those exchanges are a little colorful, but you know, and I'm just sitting here thinking in about all the things that I've settled on in recent weeks. And there's a part of me that starts to get angry. I don't know if am I alone in that? It's I mean, I know we've already talked about, change is hard. Um, Making changes is hard. Little changes are hard, but that anger is kind of, people think that spiritual people don't get angry. Well, that's wrong. um, we do. See, I'm just sitting here trying to. I get stuck thinking sometimes about all of these things that I want to change, and then there's the other fun part of it, where you start to get angry, and you start, that Hulk smash thing starts to kick in, and you're gonna take on the world, and then you look and it's like, oh shit, there's so much out there. Oh my gosh, I'm just overwhelmed. Give me a second, I need to catch my breath. And the next thing you know, you're right back to settling. It's frustrating. And it's kind of funny. Um, a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, she's been one of my teachers. She actually married us, James and I. Many times over the years, we've had this discussion that there's only two actual emotions. And I kind of, DSM aside, I kind of go with this understanding anymore. But there's only two emotions, love and fear. That literally everything boils down to love and fear. If you're angry, like I've gotten angry recently, what's the fear? Where is the fear in that anger? And I look at these things quite often, actually. Um, you know, I heard, okay, I'll use myself as an example because I have no problems doing that. Um, but even in this whole change the world idea, ideation, mantra, uh, overwhelmingness, you think about it, why aren't people in this day and age, this technologically advanced era, why aren't people making more of a change? What are we afraid of? From a corporate side, I mean, you can't deny the fear of losing profits by doing the right thing. It's a thing. Um, from a personal side, the fear in making change. You think about it, and it's what what are people gonna think about me? What are people gonna are they gonna talk about me? You know, and that's a fear that I see a lot. Um, we're I don't I agree that that people most now in this day and age do just want other people to do things for them. You can't deny that at all. Ooh, the camera just went all crazy. Apparently, either I moved too fast or my head's too big. One of the two. Um, and with a lot of that, you only um, long comment, lost train of thought. Uh, but yeah, okay, that's where we were. Wanting everyone else to do it for us. What it goes back to those participation trophies. To me, it all goes back to that time 20 years ago when everybody said, "We need to hug everyone. Here's your trophy." And it's not sustainable. It's just not a sustainable thing. I don't have a lot of that fear that people have. Um, I sit here and I'm like, you know what? I kind of brushed my hair. I'm still waking up. It's quarter to 11 in the morning. I'm having my coffee in my smartass t-shirt. My glasses keep sliding down my nose, and I didn't shave. But I'm doing a live video. Why? Because I'm human and I'm part of society and I'm part of everyone else. And I don't care. I I started these little morning coffee sessions, which I'm enjoying. I don't know if you guys are. I'm enjoying it. It's for you guys. Make that platform. But um, I'm gonna continue this, and we'll see where this goes. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. For now, we'll stick with it. Same bat time, same bat channel. Just showing how old I am. Um, you know, we need to really take a look at, in my estimation, I think we really need to take a look at how things have gotten to where they are. I don't think that those psychologists of 20 years ago whose idea of the participation trophy will ever come back and go, oops, sorry, didn't realize it was going to go this way. Um, nor do I seriously think that in general we're going to be able to stem the tide quickly. There's going to be a lot of more years of growth in a uh, painful way, I feel. Um, and I see it in the events that my friends and family and others have been experiencing. The spiritual workers that I know have been experiencing things in very physical things that have been indicative of this world that has been created. Um, and non-spiritual folks, which I don't mean to say not spiritual, but people that aren't in the spiritual line of work. I mean, we've been seeing disease and, whether mental or physical, emotional, on increasing levels. Um, it's time that we stop settling. I can't get off. I don't want to get too far from that, because it seems like that's what brought us here. Uh, so that's that. Talk about. I don't want to get really preachy or crazy about it, but it's scary to me. It's scary that, you know, I live in the neighborhood where I grew up, and I know where I used to know everybody that lived in every house on this street. I know like 5 families, and that's only because they were here uh, when I was a kid. But if we don't know our neighbors and we don't interact with our families, and we don't realize that regardless of how uncomfortable it makes us, that all of our actions have ramifications on many, many levels on everyone else around us. What is that? Chaos theory? Is there anyone? Have I floated into chaos theory this early in the morning? If anybody wants to throw up a confirmation on that'd be awesome. But nothing is too small anymore. There's no such thing as too small of a change for the better to kick us in our complacency and get us as a collective whole to get off of our collective asses and start rebuilding. Well, maybe I can't even say rebuilding. Do I ever think we'll get to a utopian situation? It's possible. That Star Trek future. But it's a very words are coming to my head that lack of caffeine so far are not allowing me to say. I'm going to try it. Precipitous. It's a very precipitous time. Maybe I'll put my contacts in next time, because I'm get one of those headbands. But we really need to do that. We need to make the little changes. And who gives a shit what people say? Well, why are you doing that? Who cares? Because I wanted to. In a good way. Not like, why did you pour bleach on your neighbor's plant? Well, no, that's not a good change. It blocked my sun. No. But I'm not an advocate for infringing. Oh, wow. This coffee is not. There hasn't been enough of it. But I'm not huge on. Not huge on. I'm not advocating infringing on others just to make our lives better, but to work on that compassionate middle ground where we can not settle, not be selfish, and actively move forward. It's going to be, I think, interesting to see where this mindset can go. Um, you know, when you drive through some neighborhoods, and like I think of it myself, you know, I don't maintain my yard uh, for myself because I can easily be happy living in a cabin in the woods. Um, very easily be happy living in a cabin in the woods, but not like some crazy hillbilly sort of thing. Um, but I do it because other people, it matters to other people, you know, because I live in a neighborhood, I live in society, I live in a community, and just having your grass cut, we can go, I can go back to the weeding thing for, yeah, the front needs weeded. I heard it from my mother, who still, God love her, I still get mom face probably at least once a day. Although she doesn't have the beard and mustache. So it's not all, when are you going to weed your flower bed? I said, well, the weeds aren't ready yet. I'm going to do that today. I'm not going to settle, and I'm not going to wait. I'm going to get that done today. And those weeds are going to be, for me, just another step in me walking away from settling anymore. I don't know. What do you guys think? I definitely, anyone that knows me knows that the summertime is, well, honestly, almost once the snow melts, it's it's sandal time, if anything, for me. Barefoot, walking through the woods, that's me in a heartbeat. I I hate shoes. Oh, they so screw with grounding. Um, I don't know. I'm here for questions. I'm here for comments. I'll be seeing you guys, I hope, again on Wednesday. But yeah, let's start. It's Monday, September 3rd. It's Labor Day. A day that's come to mean vastly different, to come to have a vastly different meaning than when it was started. But just because it's not a work day, let's make this a great Monday. Let's start collectively, energetically, spiritually, whichever adjective. My grammar skills aren't up to snuff right now. But whatever other ly word that you want to add in there, positive ly word. Why don't let's make this a turning point, because we're all in it together. So but I think it's a good place to let this edition, first ever edition, woo, of Morning Coffee come to close. I thank you guys for joining in, and for anyone that watches, if you have things that you want to ask, not just the folks that joined in live, but anybody that watches this video in retrospect, if there's anything that you want to ask, any topics that you want to go over, drop us a message through Still Our World, and we'll have our moments, and hopefully technology will work for me, and I won't be in the cold basement, and yeah, we'll grow together, all of us, as that's the basis of Still Our World. It's still our world. It's all of ours together. And only together are we going to make a difference. So thank you. Much love, many blessings. Love and light to all who are watching and who will come to watch. Have a wonderful week, and maybe I'll see you on Wednesday. If not Friday, or next Monday. I'll update the schedules regularly on Still Our World on Facebook. I'm also putting it out through our newsletter through stillourworld.com. We have 2 newsletters to keep up with events and classes and whatever. And once I can get through the technology of it, there will be a blog up that will chronicle our time together. Not just video, but also commentary. So I think for now, I will sign off. Much love to you. Thanks for joining. And let's make this first event the start of a positive change for ourselves, for our families, for our neighborhoods, for our communities, for the world. And I'll shave before Wednesday.